Greetings, friends, and welcome to Dialogues on Social Enterprise. My name is Andy Horowitz. I'm your host on these programs, and we are quite delighted today to have with us Randy Barth of Think Together. Randy, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Andy, for having me.
I'll say a few words a little bit about Randy and Think Together. Think Together has been around for several years. It runs after-school programs in local school districts, uses proposition money from the state to help fund the activities. Randy got into this early on, and we can get into that, I think, later on. But right now, Randy has grown his organization phenomenally over the last couple of years. I think from 20 schools now up to 220.
Right.
Your budget was infinitesimal, I think, a couple of years ago, and now you're a $35 million operation.
We are.
So you have jumped into social enterprise, I would say, in a very, very big way.
Yes, we have.
And I know you're here to talk a little bit about some of the observations that you have after having done this. You of course, come from the business world.
Yes.
Stock brokerage.
Stockbroker, I was the CEO of a courier company.
So you've seen the world on that side of the street.
Yep.
And now you're looking at the other side. And I think in the conversation we had, you think you're building out here quite a distribution system.
Yes.
And you want to talk to others in the community about how they might be able to partner with you.
Right.
Let's hear it.
Well, as I've gotten into doing this, after providing academically oriented after-school programs for at-risk kids in the last 5 years on a full-time basis, it's been my observation that looking at after-school as a whole, from parent-paid child care programs to state-funded programs to philanthropy-funded programs, all in, after school is an $8 billion industry in California. It's huge, serving millions of students. And I think there's an opportunity to align some of the resources that are being spent in the after-school arena to get better outcomes, to provide stronger academic support for at-risk kids and use that, both the time and the resources, to get them up to grade level. And for more affluent families and more middle-class kids, use the time and use some of the things that are cut out of the regular school day and provide those in the after-school setting. And so I think there's an opportunity to align resources better to achieve stronger outcomes.
Talk a little bit about your infrastructure. Where is it? How strong is it at this stage? And who would be candidates and who would want to participate in something like this?
So Think Together, through our expansion, we've had, I think that there's significant economies of scale in the after-school arena. And so by going to 225 sites, and we can go larger, is we've built essentially an operating system where we've got data collection systems, evaluation systems, curriculum to be delivered, training systems that we can now distribute out over a large number of sites. And what our vision is to build a world-class program department, not just in-house, but collaboratively with others, that then we can use this distribution platform out and touch lots of kids and have better outcomes. I think that my observation is in this $8 billion industry, most of the people that offer these programs are small, little nonprofits, or they're school districts that do it as an afterthought, or they're city parks and rec departments who are now in at-risk neighborhoods that are trying to get academic outcomes, and that's not really who they are culturally. So there's it's small fragmented players that might have 5 sites or 25 sites or 45 sites or even 65 sites. And when you look at that, they cannot get in front of the curriculum and the training and those costs, because to build that by yourself, it's expensive. And so you can't spread those costs over enough kids or sites. And so there are significant economies of scale. So I think it's the nature of the business is that I think the larger you can get, up to a certain point, and I think that point's way out there, the stronger you can actually become. At some point, you become too big to manage. But
question: How would someone partner with you? I mean, what kind of what's the nature of the relationship, and how would it work?
I think it could take different forms. I think it could be maybe a situation where at some point there's a formal consolidation where maybe we merge entities. I think there are some entities where it'd be a Boys and Girls Club or a Y or Catholic Charities, or somebody might be doing after-school programs where they're never going to change their organizational structure, but maybe they can license this kind of back office system and use our our recruiting and platforms and our training and our curriculum and our systems kinds of things. And so maybe there's kind of a franchise or a licensing kind of arrangement. And then maybe there's an opportunity in maybe a formal collaboration, maybe a consortium that's formalized, but maybe they draw down on a menu of services that we could potentially offer. But there's things that maybe we could do together more efficiently than either of us could do alone.
You want to give any specifics, any examples, or at this stage, or not?
Not really. We have a number of things in mind, but we'd like to just kind of plant the seed that I think that there's a better way to do this kind of collaboratively in a variety of kind of formal arrangements that could just I think the idea is to use our resources collectively to the greater good better than we're all doing them kind of individually.
If someone has something in mind, how would they get hold of you?
They could send me an email at rbarth@thinktogether.org, visit our website, thinktogether.org, and our phone number's on there and our contact information's on there.
Well, I think that's great. I think it's an invitation for people who are serious about educational reform and solving some of the problems we have in the schools to partner with an organization that is now growing as rapidly as you are throughout these schools. Give us a brief idea of where the geography of the schools are right now in Southern California.
We operate in 225 schools. We're in the eastern part of Los Angeles County, Orange County, and out through Inland Empire. So we're in 90 schools from Norwalk up to Duarte and over to Pomona in LA County. And then we're out the kind of the 60-10 corridor from Ontario all the way out to Banning, down to Roma Land and Lake Elsinore, and back to Orange County.
I think a real opportunity for someone who's looking to grow in those areas.
Yes.
So, this is Andy Horowitz. It's been a pleasure being with you on Dialogues on Social Enterprise. I think we'll have Randy back again. We have a lot to learn, I think, from Randy and how the organization grows, but we want to find out if anybody responds.
Great. Thanks, Andy.
We'll find some new partners.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Randy.